Namaste, namaste, and welcome to our first autumn session of chair yoga. Here we are in October, right at the end of October, and today we're going to just do a nice gentle practice focusing on grounding and balancing and a little bit of strength in the legs as well. So come into your seated position, try not to lean too far back into the chair, try to sit at the edge and lift yourself nice and tall. Rest your hands wherever they're comfortable. And if you feel like it, you can close your eyes or perhaps just gaze at one spot ahead of you on the floor, letting the eyelids soften down just a touch. Take this moment to step away from the things that are going on in your day, in your week, and carve out a little time for yourself, a little yoga space. Perhaps you can feel a gentle softening of the tension around your jaw, your neck and shoulders. If it doesn't happen naturally, try to encourage that softening, that release. Take a moment to feel how you're feeling in your body today, to notice any parts of the body that are having a little grumble, perhaps because they're feeling tight or tired or fatigued or maybe uncomfortable. And remembering to use a little extra care and attention for those spaces as we work in our practice. Notice at least one part of the body that feels spacious, soft, at ease. And then notice your breath, just your natural breath, the gentle ebb and flow of air in and out of the body. When you feel ready, you can gently deepen that breath, maybe breathing a little more fully into the rib cage, the collarbones, the shoulder blades. And as you exhale, using a little extra effort of the tummy muscles, the abdominal muscles, just to press more fully the air out of the lungs. Breathing deeply into the sides of the body, the back, the chest. Breathing out slowly, deeply, using those abdominal muscles to breathe out completely. As you breathe in, filling the whole space of the chest. And breathing out, perhaps just a little slower than you breathe in, using that extra effort across the belly. Let's do a couple more breaths like this. At the end of your next exhalation, allowing yourself to sit tall, but drawing your chin towards your chest, not with force, just allowing the head to fall forward under the weight of gravity. And then from here, rolling the right ear to the right shoulder, the chin towards the chest, making small movements to begin with. Left ear to left shoulder, and chin towards the chest. Just gently side to side, observing the sensation in the body, being guided by how your body feels. And if you start small, you'll notice that the body gently opens and lengthens. Perhaps you can make your movement a touch bigger after a few repetitions. There's no need to do that if you don't feel inclined to, or if the body doesn't want to let you. But if you'd like to, you can. And if you'd like to, you can roll the head in a slight circle, just taking the head a touch back, but only if that suits you. You don't get too much grinding in the neck. If you're doing circles, you can reverse the next time your chin comes to your chest for a couple of circles in the opposite direction. Always taking care to move where the body is happy to go. The next time your chin comes to your chest, bringing your head upright again, opening your eyes if they've been closed, and relaxing the arms down to the sides just for a few shoulder rolls. And as I haven't done any chair yoga for a little while, maybe you also a few weeks from having done some, we're going to ease through things today. So rolling the shoulders in the opposite direction as well. Very good. And then after a few shoulder rolls, we're going to take the fingertips and rest them towards the shoulders. So they can rest on the chest or fingertips onto the shoulders, or simply just bending your elbows and letting your hands come towards your shoulders will do. And we'll make some circles with those elbows. And at the same time, we've got the feet nice and flat on the floor, a little lift perhaps in the abdominal muscles, lifting the crown of the head so that we can extend the spine into that lengthened, upright, great posture position. Once you've done a few of these circles, perhaps you can draw the elbows a touch closer together in front of you and the shoulder blades perhaps a touch closer together behind, making your circles slower but fuller. See how you go. We'll do one more in this direction. And then at the bottom, just take a moment to let the arms hang and give them a loose sort of wave or shake from front to back. And then when you're ready, you can allow the arms come to stillness, fingertips back onto the shoulders, and we'll go the opposite way. So we're drawing the elbows back and up, and then elbows forward and down. Or if you were doing that the first time around, going the opposite way. And it might be that you can get straight into those larger circles, or you might need a little bit of extra, few circles smaller to build up. That's okay. Just do whatever movement comes naturally to you as best you can. Very good. We'll do one more in this direction. And then letting the arms again hang to the sides and just loosely swing is the word, not shake, swing from front to back. Very good. Okay, and then while we're here still sitting on the chair, we'll just make a few wrist circles with nice long extended fingers. Very good. I've got a lot of cracking and popping happening at this end. Maybe you do too. And then the opposite way. Very good. Extending through those fingers, maybe giving the fingers a slight sort of wiggle as you go. And then again, we're going to let the arms rest to the side and just swing the arms a little bit backwards and forwards. Just loosening off any tension across the shoulders there. And then we're going to bring the arms back up just in front to put the thumbs into the palms, wrap all the fingers around, and then make wrist circles with the hands in this sort of enclosed thumb fist. There we are. And again, just doing what comes naturally. Don't force the body to go where it's uncomfortable. We'll move in the opposite direction as well. If you want to rest your arms down while you do this, you can, if it's feeling tight in the shoulders, to hold them up. Very good. When you're ready, you can just wiggle the fingers, relax the arms, and give them a swing front and back. Awesome stuff. And then still while we're sitting, we're going to bring the hands together in front of the body. Take the arms wide, turn the palms upwards, and take the thumbs behind the body a little if you can to look up. A little effort in the belly muscles there. And then drawing the arms in front of the body and crossing them over, right over left if you like, wrapping the arms around the shoulders. We're going to do it again, opening the arms wide, palms up, thumbs coming behind the body, maybe looking up, using a little bit of effort in the belly muscles, and then wrapping this time the left arm over the right arm, so opposite way, to hold onto the shoulders. Let's do 2 more to each side. Arms open and up, sitting tall, drawing the shoulder blades towards each other, and crossing right arm over left arm to hug the shoulders. Very good. One more time, opening the arms wide, palms up, looking up, and then crossing left arm over right arm to hug your shoulders. And then very gently just releasing the arms down, letting the arms swing. Not a lot of swinging happening today. And that's just to soften off any tension across the shoulders there. Okay, so we're going to come up to standing in just a moment, but I would like to prepare the feet first. So for this, you can settle yourself back into your chair a little bit so you can lean back, find the support of the back of the chair, and perhaps even hold on to the sides of the chair. And you can do this 1 foot at a time, extending your foot forward and rolling your foot at the ankle. Or if you want to be really smart, you can do both at the same time. So whatever suits you, if you want that extra challenge, 2 at the same time. Rolling your foot at the ankle. If you're doing 2 at the same time, then you're going to have to do it for a little while. We're going to roll in the opposite direction. Very good. Just finding a nice range of movement where you can feel the muscles working in the lower leg as well, perhaps into the thighs a little too. And then lowering that foot down or taking a break if you've got both feet up. And then we'll do the other side, extending your leg or both legs if you like, rolling your foot at the ankle. And it's not about the shape that your body makes, it's about the sensation that you have of rolling your ankle through its full range of movement without any weight on it. And we'll go the opposite way. Trying to extend into the toes, avoiding cramp. So cramp usually happens when we're trying too hard. So just allowing the movement to be quite natural. Very good. And then we're going to rest this foot down as well. And then just extend your feet and give them a little bit of a shake, like you were swimming almost, kicking them, or shaking from side to side, if that helps. Very good. Okay, so now we've prepared our ankles and our feet and our toes a little bit. You can come back to the front of your seat. You're going to place your feet onto the ground, a comfortable distance apart for you. So we want it to be, you want it to be at least hip width apart. So perhaps a touch wider. And then at the edge of your seat, we're going to take our arms forward, firm the belly, reach forward to transfer our weight onto our feet to stand up, taking the arms wide, and then going back the way. So bringing the arms forward, and then using your belly muscles, bending the knees slowly to place your bottom back on your chair. So we don't want to plonk down with a smack. We do want to make sure that when we come back to the chair, we've got the bottom right on the chair, not near the edge of the chair. Good job. Just feeling like you can control the movement on the way up and the way down. So we're reaching the arms forward, a little firmness in the belly, just leaning forward, Transferring your weight into your feet, press the feet into the floor to stand tall, opening the arms wide, and then coming back the way, bringing the arms forward and bending the knees slowly, sticking your bottom out, lifting your belly muscles to place your weight back onto your chair, your seat back onto your chair. Let's do 3 more like this. Reaching forward, standing tall, arms opening wide, bringing the arms back, bending the knees, really lifting in the belly muscles as you sit down. 2 more. Reaching forward, transferring the weight into your feet to stand tall. Very good. And then bringing the arms back, bending the knees nice and slowly to lower down. Last one, but we'll stay standing up. Reaching forward, pressing into the feet, standing tall, and then you can lower your arms down to your side. Give your shoulders a little bit of a wiggle if they need a wiggle, and you can also shake out your legs or shake out your feet as you need to. I'm going to move the chair to one side for a moment while we do our other warming through exercises for the spine here. So coming to standing and taking the feet a comfortable distance apart, a little softness in the knees, and you might feel the effort that you've made in the quadriceps there with our gentle squats, chair squats, love them. And we're going to then take ourselves into Kati Chakrasana, so a little gentle twisting from side to side. And here it's not about the shape that you make, so we're not trying to get all the way twisted one way or the other. We're just simply trying to ease a little bit of that twisty movement into the spine and the supporting structures of the torso, the main body of the body. Ha ha ha. I should stop making jokes that only I find fun. There we are. So perhaps you can feel on the soles of your feet a little twisting across the skin as you move from side to side. Allow your shoulders to be soft, the arms loose, elbows and fingers relaxed. If it's comfortable, you can let your head follow your movement. If you find that you get dizzy, you can leave your head looking to the front and simply allow the rest of your body to move. Perhaps your head moves just a touch, but your eyes can remain fixed on one point. And that really helps for dizziness. And then when you're ready, if you'd like to, you can pivot on your toes. So we're just gently twisting, lifting the heel that we're moving away from. Perhaps here keeping a little lift in those abdominal muscles, just a touch. It's not the full George Clooney, it's about 50%. And as you move into this slightly more challenging coordination of twisting, making sure that your shoulders are still relaxed, elbows and fingers still soft. Perhaps the arms are wrapping the body so that the hands can gently tap wherever they reach. And then today, because I'm going to demonstrate something different, we're going to gently allow ourselves to lose momentum until we come back to standing. So we generally do Kati Chakrasana in this way, but there is also another way to do it. So in the variation we've just done, we've pivoted away from the foot that turns, but this time we're going to try pivoting towards it. So lifting the heel and pivoting towards the bent leg. So it's a slightly different feel in our bodies as we go. So we'll start with our feet firmly planted and just a little twist from side to side. And don't worry if this takes a few goes to get right. It did for me, that's for sure. Whenever you're ready, you can bend your right knee and twist towards it, and then bend your left knee and twist towards it, lifting the heel of the foot of the knee that you're bending. So lifting the right heel as you turn towards it, lifting the left heel as you turn towards it. See if you can manage this one. It sometimes feels weird to do something differently than the way that we've always done it, but that in itself is a great challenge for our coordination, for our perception, for our balance. Very good. And it might be that you think, oh no, I don't like that. That just doesn't feel quite right. And that's okay. We'll just do a couple more to each side. And then when you're ready, you can place both feet down. And we'll do just a gentle touch more of our standard Kati Chakrasana. And if you want to, you can do pivoting if that is the one that you prefer to do, that's okay. And through the course of this term, we will work with this exercise, changing between different feet and knee movements, hopefully without stopping. Whenever you're ready, let your feet come to center and allow your body to lose its momentum a little at a time until you're back to standing steady. Awesome stuff, guys. Okay, so here again, just rolling the shoulders a little bit. We're trying to encourage those structures behind the chest, the muscles that support the shoulders, support our good posture, good breathing, to become a bit more active. And we can roll the opposite way as well. Very good. And then taking your hands onto your hips, perhaps just checking that your feet aren't very turned out or very turned in. Almost straight or thereabouts is probably best. A little softness in the knees and gently tucking your tailbone under. So here we're trying to just lengthen that space in the low back and then tuck the tailbone out to lengthen the space in the front of the body. So just rolling forwards and backwards. This is much easier to do with the knees bent. And it's not about the amount of movement you have. It's about exploring the sensation that comes with the body as it moves. So perhaps you notice that you've got an area that feels tighter. Try not to press through any areas of tightness. Perhaps you notice that this feels more comfortable in one direction than the other. That's perfectly normal. Maybe focus a little on lifting your pelvic floor if you can, and encouraging a gentle effort across the belly muscles and the buttocks as well. Just a few more, waking up that area of the low back, that connection between the legs and the pelvis and the spine. When you're ready, you can come back to the center and then try doing little circles. So circling the hips. And here, we're going to start with the rest of the body quite still. So keeping the chest and the shoulders quite still as we circle the hips in one direction. We're going to change directions as well. So changing now to go in the opposite direction. Still thinking about a little effort in the buttocks, the belly, the pelvic floor. Lovely job. And one more, coming back to center. Just lengthening the legs for a moment. Shake out the wrists, shake out the legs. You can do that also holding onto your chair. You don't need to do it freestanding. Very good. And then coming back to center, softening the knees, hands onto the hips, and see if you can make figure of eights. So taking the left hip back and around, and then the right hip back and around. Going from one side to the other. Notice the weight across the feet as you move from one side to the other. You can always use your chair for support as you do this. If it's helpful, I find the hands on the hips is helpful because I feel like I can feel them moving through space. I'm more aware of what they're doing. Notice that we are doing the hips back and around, because in a moment we're going to come back to the center and then go the opposite way. So we're going to back and around. So we're going to go forward and around, forward and around. I think we were doing forward and around before, were we? Back and around. Try going the opposite way. I've got no idea now that I've overthought it completely. But hopefully you have an idea of which way you were going. Trying to think. Yeah, that definitely feels like the first way. Okay, super. At the end of the day, it doesn't much matter. It's just an exercise in sensation in the body. So if you can feel where you've been, you can notice if you're going the opposite way or not. Fingers crossed. Everyone's managing to do something with their hips. When you're ready, coming back to center. Very good. Okay, take a moment here if you need to shake out or if you need to wiggle through the body at all. Shaking and wiggling is a really nice way to soften tension from your fascial system. So just releasing whenever you need to, with whichever movements feel good to you. And then we're going to come into a little bit more limbering of the spine as a whole. We did a bit of this sitting down. I'm just standing sideways to show, same process of being on the feet with the feet nice and wide apart. We're going to start with the arms wide, lifting the chest, and then draw the elbows together and fold forward, tucking the tailbone under, chin coming towards the chest a little, scooping the belly in to round the whole of the back of the body, and then pressing into the feet to stand tall, reaching the arms wide, maybe even reaching the arms back, lifting the chin, lifting the chest, lifting the belly muscles, firming the buttocks here as well, and then rounding the opposite way, bringing the shoulders forward, elbows together, chin to chest, tucking, and then reaching wide to open, lift, scoop the belly in, and rounding. Let's see if we can coordinate breath with this as well. So as you inhale, stand tall, reach the arms wide, reach them back if you can, lift your chest, breathe into that big space you've created. And as you breathe out, round through the spine, scoop the belly in, keep the belly and the buttock muscles working just a little. Inhaling to stand tall. And exhaling to round. Inhaling, standing tall, opening, lifting, expanding. Exhaling, softening, comforting, nurturing, protecting. 2 more, inhaling. And exhaling. Inhaling. And exhaling. And we're going to finish just by standing tall, inhaling tall. And relaxing the arms down to the side. Excellent stuff. Just give your shoulders a little bit of a wiggle. And we are finally going to use our chairs again. So coming to the back of your chair and making sure that you've got some nice support. So your chair is tall enough that you can feel that you can put your hands out in front of you. And if not, you can always use a wall if you've got a shorter chair. So we want the feet to be about hip width apart, and we're trying to keep them in line with the hips a little bit more. Some people prefer the toes to be slightly turned out, just not too much, but making sure the toes are not turned in. And then here, with the fingertips resting as lightly as you can, or using more grip if you need, we're going to keep the body lifted and tall, and just float the heels up off the floor, and then float the heels down again. Okay, so keeping a little lift in the belly muscles, the shoulders nice and relaxed, length in the back of the neck, floating the heels up as you come onto tiptoes, it doesn't matter how high, and floating the heels down, just having that sensation of rocking the weight back into the heels, forward into the toes, using the chair as much as needed. If you feel really, really fancy, you can do this with your hands on your hips or with perhaps just one hand on the chair as you choose. I'm going to do 2 more. And last one. And then here, just bending the knees a couple of times or marching the legs a couple of times if that is useful here. Super duper. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing, but this time we're going to try to do it more with one side than with the other. So whilst we will keep both feet on the floor, I'm going to try it on my right side first, trying to make that movement happen on the right, so the left foot is almost taking no weight at all, and then coming back down, and then going to my left. So doing it more with my left, right foot almost taking no weight, and then down. And if you really want to, you can lift the other foot off the floor to do it, going from side to side. But if you would like that extra stability and support of having both feet on the floor, just make it that your left or right foot is more dominant. Super. A little bit from side to side. And we're going to do, I'm just doing my left now, so do 1 more to each side, gently floating up and down and up and down. Very good. And then just letting the legs march a little bit to loosen off any effort. If you'd like to, holding onto your chair, giving the legs a little bit of a shake. That's a really lovely thing to do. Excellent stuff. And while we're here, we can take a lovely forward bend into our chair, downward facing dog. So pressing the hands into the top of the chair, walking your feet away, not too far. We don't want to lean on the chair or unfortunately push it forward. Taking the feet a reasonable distance apart, nice and soft in the knees, and then lifting the belly, extending through the tailbone to bring your torso down towards the floor. It doesn't need to be absolutely parallel. It may be determined by how tall your chair is. If you've got a ladder chair, you can always try bringing your hands a little bit further down if that feels comfortable, if you don't feel any strain in the back of the body. So we want to avoid feelings of extreme length or stretch. Soft knees means that you won't overstretch in the backs of your legs. A little lift in the belly, drawing of the shoulder blades towards each other, keeping the head either above the arms or between the upper arms, not lower. Don't let your head droop down. And then here you can gently sway your hips from one side to the other, as if you were wagging your tail. Only if that feels comfortable, if it feels like a nice thing to do. And then when you're ready, you can come back to the center, look towards your seat, press your hands down into the chair and walk your feet in as you come upright again. Hold on to your chair as long as you need to get all of the blood back to the places it likes to be. And if it's helpful, you can gently draw your chin towards your chest. Sometimes that helps as well. Just for a deep breath in, maybe a sigh out through the mouth. And then lifting your head to come upright again. Awesome sauce. Okay, so we're going to now move the chair to one side. Exciting. So that you are holding the chair for support on the side that your leg is going to move on. And I might turn slightly more square to the camera. There we are, get a better view. So here we're on both feet and we're going to point the foot closest to the chair forwards and then bring it back to the center. So on both feet, pointing forwards and return. Here, forwards and return. Try to keep your weight so that you are not extending your hip away from your chair. Okay, so you're using that standing leg for support. One more. and return. Lovely job. Okay, so having done it, just pointing the foot forwards, you can do that again if you would like to, or you can step forwards and step back. So see if that suits. Sometimes that won't suit hips, that's okay. But if you can, step forward and return. Step forward and return. You don't need to make a big movement, it can just be little firmness in the belly. We'll do one more. Step forward and return. Excellent stuff. So having worked the hip that's closest to the chair, you're going to turn to face your chair and then take that leg that was doing the work and just step it back behind you and then forwards. Pointing back and forwards. So we're not stepping onto it, we're just lifting the leg back and forwards, and one more. Back and forwards. Excellent. Still facing onto the chair, same leg. You're going to step it out to the side. So first sliding out to the side and back, like a point of the toe out to the side and back. Out to the side and back. Lovely. Let's do two more. And back. And last one. And back. Very good. So from here, we're going to step it. So now we've done the pointing, we're going to step onto it, bend the knee, and then press off to come back. So we're stepping onto that foot, the knee bends, and then pressing off that foot to come back. Stepping out to the side and back. Out to the side and back. One more. Out to the side and back. And here in the center, taking your weight onto the standing leg that's been doing all of that standing, bending the leg that's been doing all of that work, lifting the belly and gently kicking that foot back behind you 5 times. So extending the heel back, knees come towards each other. If you need to come down to the floor in between each one, you can, that's not a problem. When you've done 5, stepping onto both legs, marching out your feet. Oh, goodness gracious. And the standing leg has been doing an awful lot of stabilizing and supporting. The moving leg has been doing lots of mobility and stabilizing for the joint as well. But you might need to give your legs a little bit of a shake, that's okay. Fantastic stuff. We're going to do the whole thing on the other side. So you want to stand with your hip that was not moving before, close to the chair, hand onto the hip, and we're going to point the toes forward and return, point the toes forward and return. We're doing 5 of each, and you can simply slide the foot forward if you want to. I think this might be 5. And coming back to center. And then holding the chair for support if you need to, step onto that foot and then press back. Stepping forward and back. Doesn't need to be a big movement, doesn't need to be a big step. There we go. Use the chair for support as you need to. And returning. Excellent. So we've done our forwardsness, yes indeed. You can face onto your chair now, and your moving leg is the same one, so the one that was closest to the chair. You're going to point that leg back and return. So try and keep the rest of the body nice and upright. Try not to lean forward to make your leg go backwards. Try to move from your hip. Point back and return. Back and return. One more, because I've lost count. Very good. And then I have to turn this way around so that you can see. We're going to go out to the side from here as well. So pointing out to the side and back. Still firm in the belly, trying not to let that hip fall out to the side as in the opposite direction. And pointing out to the side. One more. Out to the side and return. Using your chair for support, you're going to step out to the side. So stepping your foot out and returning to center, stepping out and return. Use the strength of your legs, press away from the floor. 2 more. Stepping out and return. And when you come back to center this time, you're going to lift that heel so that your knees are towards each other. Stand tall and then just press your heel backwards and back to center. Press the heel back and return. Press the heel back and return. 1 more, 2 more, 1 more. And then gently resting that foot down, marching out the legs. And they will have done quite a lot of work today, so give them a good shake, get rid of any tension. If you need to do a bit of a wiggle, you can do a little bit of a wiggle. And you'll be pleased to know that we are going to come to sitting, but in 1 moment after we do a quick, another quick downward facing dog. So hands onto the back of your chair, walk your feet away, soft knees, bending them as you extend your tailbone out behind you, giving a nice lift in the belly muscles, pressing the feet into the floor. You can wiggle your hips from side to side. That's a really lovely one to do after our last practice, or you might want to extend through one leg and then the other, pressing the knee a little straighter, bending the knee a little more on the opposite side. Whatever works for you best. And when you're ready, you can come back to the center, look towards your seat, press into your hands, come all the way forward, standing tall, holding onto your chair for as long as you need to get all of the blood back to where it's supposed to be, so that you don't feel dizzy when you come to sitting down. Excuse me, still just have a little congestion after the cold, but hopefully everything is good at your end. So to begin with, we're sitting towards the edge of our seats, just to maintain that lift of the spine. So the idea is not to teeter-totter on the edge of your seat, but to feel like you've got firm support, you're just not leaning back onto your chair back. We'll begin with this seated practice with a couple of nice cleansing breaths. 3. I said couple, I mean 3. So resting the arms down to the side, lengthening through the crown of the head. We're going to breathe in as we take the arms out and up, perhaps forward or perhaps over the head. Palms come together, and then breathing out, bringing the hands down to the center of the chest. Very good. Let's do 2 more. Breathing in, reaching out and up. Breathing out, palms together to the center of the chest. Breathing in. And breathing out. Excellent. So we're going to do a twist with this as well. So this time, breathing in, taking the arms out and up. As you breathe out, take your right hand backwards and your left hand forwards. Twisting a little bit to the right. Breathing in, come back to the center, both arms up or forwards, and body centered. And breathing out, take the left arm backwards and the right arm forwards. Breathing in, come back to the center. Breathing out, twisting to the right, just gently reaching the arms away from each other. Breathing in, back to the center. Breathing out, twisting to the left. Very good. This time, breathing into the center. As you breathe out, twist to the right, and then we're going to hold that twist. So resting your left hand onto your right leg and your right hand onto your chair somewhere. Let your shoulders relax. Lengthen through the crown of the head, a little lift in the center of the body, and you can turn your head into that twist as much as feels comfortable for you. So a little or not at all. Here, softening in the shoulders, breathing deeply. Notice if you have any discomfort If you do, just soften out of the twist, just a touch. Don't hold in a place that feels uncomfortable. One more deep breath in, and as you exhale, we're going to unwind back to center. Arms are nice and relaxed. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. So give the shoulders a little roll. And then when you're ready, breathing in, take the arms out and up. As you breathe out, take the left hand back, the right hand across the body to the left leg. Wherever you get to, holding on to something, allowing the shoulder blades to roll towards each other, lengthening through to the crown of the head. A little softness in the shoulders, maybe turning your head a touch more into the twist if you'd like to. Notice if it feels more comfortable on this side or not so much. Perhaps you feel you can twist more fully or less so, just observing. Deep breaths. One more deep breath in, and as you exhale, exhale through the mouth, unravel yourself back to center. Excellent stuff. Rolling the shoulders a little front and back, and then swinging the arms a little here as well. And we're going to prepare now for a breathing practice and relaxation. So if you'd like to wrap yourself up in a blanket, then you can. I'm going to grab one myself. And if you'd like to put something underneath your feet just to raise the floor towards you so that you've got comfort in your hips. So by doing that, when we sit down, we have the knee coming out in front of the hip, which is a little bit more comfortable for the hip in a seated position. And you can wrap your blanket all the way around you if you like, or perhaps just over your knees, whatever works for you. Being warm during relaxation is quite useful because it helps us to not focus on the sensations of the body, but instead allow ourselves to be absorbed into the process of relaxation. So as you come into your chair this time, sitting yourself a little bit further back so that your body is supported by the chair back, so you can feel an easing of the efforts that have been made through the class. We're going to take chin mudra with our hands today. So just bringing the first finger and thumb towards each other, and then resting the hands with the rest of the fingers long, either palms down or palms up, as you choose, whatever suits you best. If you find that you get a bit of strain in the shoulders here, you can actually rest one hand inside the other across your lap. Sometimes if you're using a blanket and you've got a little bit of extra lift there, like a little cushion you can rest your hands on, that can be useful too. Helps the shoulders to relax. Do what suits you best. Take a moment to gently close your eyes or gaze downward if you prefer. Observe your natural, spontaneous breath. The breath that ebbs and flows without effort, without conscious thought. Notice the qualities of your breath, its depth, its rhythm. Notice if it's smooth, if it feels free or impeded. What other observations can you make about your breath? Can you observe the sensation of the temperature of breath. Sensation of the body moving as you breathe. Perhaps you notice something different. When you're ready, you can gently deepen your breath, just as we did at the beginning of the class. Breathing a little more fully into the space available to you, which hopefully feels bigger now. And as you breathe out, maybe just using the slightest engagement of the belly muscles, breathing out slowly and deeply and completely. Allow each breath in to fill all of the space of the rib cage, the collarbones, the shoulder blades. Allow each breath out to take with it an easing of tension, a releasing, a relaxing through the whole body. If you're familiar with breath counting and you wish to add an element to this, you can just continue as you are, breathing deeply if you prefer. If you'd like to, you can breathe in for the count of 4 and breathe out for the count of 5 or 6. If you prefer, you can of course breathe in for the count of 3 and breathe out for the count of 4 or 5. Just extending your exhalation ever so slightly. Keeping the shoulders soft, the breath relaxed, making your practice as effortless as possible. If you wish to, you can continue practicing this breath for the remainder of relaxation. If you prefer, you can allow your breath to relax into its natural rhythm, relaxing your first finger and thumb away from each other, softening your forehead, the area around your eyes, your chin, tongue, jaw, shoulders, chest. Simply allowing the body to soften a little deeper, relax a little more effort with every exhalation. Gently begin to deepen your breath. Bring your awareness back to your hands and your feet by wiggling your fingers and toes, maybe rolling your wrists and your ankles. When you feel ready, you can take a deep breath in and stretch the arms, maybe yawn to stretch the face. Have that sensation of the stretch rippling through the body. Move in any way that feels good to you. In your own time, you can gather yourself back in, bring your hands together and rub them. Just lightly to begin with, and then a little bit more vigorously, pressing the palms towards each other, rubbing firmly, rubbing fast. When the hands begin to feel warm, maybe taking a bit more time if they don't initially, then placing the hands over the eyes, the palms themselves not touching the eyelids, but providing that sensation of warmth or close contact. Blinking into your palms a few times, releasing your hands down when you're ready to open your eyes. Thank you for joining me in this practice today. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it made you feel freer and easier, and I look forward to seeing you next time.